Hey guys, I want to cover LinkedIn ad frequency real quickly. So this is going to be one of my favorite numbers that I keep track of is frequency. And so let me give you a quick show here. So if I go last 30 days, here's my two main categories. I have LinkedIn cold ads and LinkedIn retargeting ads. Like obviously there's going to be multiple campaigns in each of those, but it's helpful to look at it just as an overall number. So the last 30 days, the frequency of my cold ads is 1.6 and the frequency of my retargeting is 40. So what is ad frequency? It's the average number, the average prospect sees this many ads from your campaign in a given time period. So this is a 30-day time period. We can also do a 90-day time period. So in this one, the average prospect in my campaigns sees 2.3 ads over 90 days. So that's the cold layer. And the average prospect in my retargeting campaigns sees 86 ads over the course of 90 days. Now, these are not just all in feed, big noticeable ads. These are lots of little touches, text ads, spotlight ads, follower ads. So lots of little things that maybe do or don't register that would make that number look higher. So the reason that's important is because it changes the way of thinking of how you need to either increase, decrease your audience size or increase, decrease your budget. Because the main factor is, what goes into how I can manipulate that number. If it's a very small target audience, the frequency will be higher given the same budget. If you have a large audience, the frequency will naturally be smaller, but you could increase the frequency by increasing the budget. For example, at 100,000 prospects, a target group of 100,000, given $100 a day budget, your average frequency might actually be 2, because that's a pretty big target group and not the world's biggest budget. So your frequency might be 2. So if you wanted each prospect to see 10 ads, so a frequency of 10 within a 30-day period, you might have to 5x that budget and spend $500 a day towards that target audience of 100,000 in order to get a frequency of 10. Or in the retargeting layer, if you're targeting a very small audience, like maybe 2, 3, 4,000, even with a budget of $10, $20, $30 a day, you could achieve a very high frequency. So let me show you the two layers here. There's the cold layer, which this is the 90-day frequency of 2.35 and the 30-day of 1.6. That means, again, the average prospect from my cold campaign layer only sees 1 to 2 ads from my cold campaign, which means there's actually no point in running a million creatives. I should boil this down to the top 1 or 2 ads and let it run based on performance. So the two things I just said there that I'm going to break down is let me show you this. So this is why my account looks like this. So this campaign has spent almost $48,000, and I would say 90% of that spend, $35,000, had been run through one single ad before LinkedIn rejected it, because that was the top performing ad, and my average frequency was only 1.5. So there was no point in me doing anything other than funneling as much cold traffic through this single best performing ad that I can. Now I have 2 ads that I'm running. Now that I had to give that one up, I'm reevaluating which ones I should be allowing traffic to go through. And through this option here, when you actually go into your ad campaign, you can click ads in this campaign. You can either optimize for performance, and that's actually if you're doing testing like I am right now, then I would leave it at rotate evenly, so it doesn't favor one or the other. It gives each of them equal distribution, and then you can make the judgment call. I would say normally for cold ads and for retargeting ads that are focused on an actual conversion, like a booked call, a download, you want to go with optimize for performance. But on ads where you actually want them to see the full range of ads that you have in there, I would do rotate evenly. And that's helpful if you're trying to show testimonials, case studies, client success stories, tips. If you have a podcast, YouTube, you don't necessarily just want them to see the one ad a bunch of times that's top performing. You want them to see the full range. So for this one, or if I'm testing, I want to do rotate ads evenly. So For cold ads, especially if you have a higher, total addressable market, you actually just want to boil it down to the top 1 or 2 ads and run performance based. Now for retargeting, as you can see, I run a ton of different retargeting campaigns. Most of these are on even distribution. And let's look at the frequency here. Because we run a smaller target audience, some of them are bite-sized groups. 30-day retargeting audience might be 2,000. 90-day might be 6, 7, 8,000. But those are very bite-sized pieces that you can dominate for 10, 20, $30 a day. So if you see text ads, the different types of ads also have varying degrees of frequency. So that's all-time text ads. So if I go 30-day, that's more comprehensible. If I do 30-day and I sort by frequency, text ads, spotlight ads, and follower ads are always going to have the highest frequency because they're underpriced, cheap real estate. LinkedIn will place those all day on your prospects' feeds. So that's why my overall frequency actually looks high, because I leverage those a lot. It's a nice extra touch to keep your logo on their screen. So my text ads actually have a 42 frequency, which means if I wanted fresh content or lots of opportunity, I could have 42 ads, 42 variations in my text campaign if I wanted to keep fresh content in front of them. Follower ads, frequency of 18, spotlight is 10. This is a video, but it's a very small group because it's just 30-day retargeting, high intent traffic. And so that has a frequency of 5.6. This is the second level. So this one, I'm just retargeting my retargeting traffic. So the second level retargeting. So that's why that's higher. This is 90-day general retargeting. This is a very specific segment. Actually, no, this is a broader segment. Here's a newsletter. It's 90-day broad. Here's a broad. So as I get broader and the retargeting audience gets larger, the frequency gets smaller. So if I have an ad like this, where it's my other offers, and the average, let's look at 90. The average prospect is only seeing, where's my other offers? No, it's getting covered. Okay. It's actually the overall 3.1. So if this one I have, like it suggests, I have different offers in there where it has my outreach offer. Some of it directs them to our YouTube channel. Some of it's our multi-channel. Some of it's website visitor identification. So I have these maybe four different offers. So if the frequency is only 3, then chances are they're not actually getting exposed to all 4 or 5 of my different offers. So I could either narrow down the audience a little more so that the frequency goes up, or I could just increase that budget a little more so that I actually get the full range. And I'm guessing with this one, I do what I was talking about, where this should be more even distribution. Actually, I think I probably did the even distribution, and then I figured out which ones were top performing, and then I let it actually go to performance. But this one might be a good one. I could go either way of even distribution or performance. So that is a crash course on LinkedIn ad frequency.